Now, from a guest's perspective, what do you look for from a crowd in a convention?
Well, we always like to check out. Well, it's Matt's first con, so I always like to check out the artist alley and see any cool art and pick up cool things. Sometimes get commissions, and I like to go and raid the dealer's room and pick up some cool swag. Picked up a bunch of Clefairy and Abra stuff from Pokemon. But I also just like hanging out with the attendees and talking with them. It's always really cool when people. Ask me to sign something particular that's important to them, or strike up a cool conversation, or you connect on different ways. So that's always fun.
Yeah, so it's my first con, so I didn't necessarily know what to expect, but what I've liked so far a lot is all the cosplay of stuff that I recognize. I'll take a picture with someone and be like, yeah, this is awesome. You've got a really cool Yu-Gi-Oh! GX cosplay. And I've really liked the involvement from the audience during all of our panels. They're very enthusiastic and makes everything a lot easier.
Now you've been doing some Q&A panels and getting a lot of responses from the audience. What are some questions that you've never thought would be asked before?
That's a tough one. I feel like everything we've been asked is something I can reasonably expect, but some people are just like, what's the most awkward line you've ever had to say? And it's like, I don't know. I've said so many awkward lines, I can't remember.
Yeah, nothing's really surprised me at this point. Some of the uncensored questions last night were a little pushy, but we don't talk about those, so.
Now you've done some more risky anime voicing roles, Holy Night being one of them. So would you say it's very different in the voice booth than answering in front of an audience?
Yeah, it's different. So I've had to not only direct people for ecchi shows, fan servicey shows like Holy Night and Judah and Ladies vs. Butlers, but I've also we've scripted some of that, and I've done Honey Pops, so that's also different. But one thing that came up in our Q&A yesterday at the Media Blasters Q&A by my friend Miranda, who voices Camilla in Holy Night and Rinko in Judanchan, is she was like, one of my first gigs I did, I had to do a bunch of battle noises, and I listened back, and it did not sound like battle noises. She said it sounded like she was enjoying herself too much. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty accurate. It's hard to tell the difference sometimes between your battle reacts and fighting sounds for games and some interesting reacts you might make in anime.
I don't think it's that much different when you're in front of a crowd talking about that stuff. If you have no shame and are willing to do something like that behind a microphone with maybe a director you've never worked with before and maybe an engineer you've never worked with before and never met, it's not that crazy to expect to do the same thing in front of 300 people.
Now, with someone with a strong foundation into the anime industry, when you first got into voice acting, what were some roles that you planned on taking upon? Meaning, what kind of character were you into voice acting?
I always wanted to do boy characters, so when I got to do Kaoru Daichi in Ladies vs. Butlers, that was really fun. She's a really cool character and was in more of my boyish register. But I knew that I was going to be doing really energetic roles because I just have a very peppy, perky voice. So I knew that that's what to expect, and of course that's what I've done quite a lot of, and I've done some bratty characters too. So those are some of my favorite ones and what I get cast as most often.
I've wanted to play a lot of roles where my character is energetic and a young guy, out for adventure and stuff like that. And I don't really play those so far. My typecast right now, at least, seems to be the cool guy who doesn't really care. But I play a character named Shay in Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5, and I get to yell a lot in that, so that's similar in a way. It gets my energy out, but then I have to be snarky and not care about anything else. So.
Now, Yukio has been around for obviously a very long time. Were you into the series when you were young?
Yes. Yes, I was. It's kind of surreal actually to be involved in a season of it that people seem to like a lot more than some of the previous ones. Actually, it's been an honor.
When you were young, did you imagine yourself doing this kind of work?
No, I'm really happy that I am. I told a story on a very short story on a panel earlier, where I said when I was younger, I used to be like so hyped to watch Pokemon in the morning or in the afternoon, and I used to like do a dance that I made up and like get myself all set up. And now like I'm in several episodes of Pokemon, so that's like such a crazy like full circle. So it's really cool to know that I'm in this kind of work now. And when people asked me at the con, I like, how did you find voice acting? And I always say like, well, the day I found out that Ed Elric had a voice behind him, I was like, that's what I want to do. And it's also pretty crazy because like 3 months ago, I actually directed Vic for a show, and I was like, I didn't tell him this. Maybe I did. I don't remember. I was like, when I found out that you existed, changed my life. Got you this job that you're recording for now.
Well, surely there are some young people right now who are looking forward to hearing your voices and do want to meet you in real life, hence our crowd here. We're very lucky to have you. Thank you for coming to Liberty City Anime Con. This has been Erin from Generate Magazine. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh!